It's a very environmentally responsible and easily biodegradable product line. We're hoping every reclaim system, it's going to be able to accelerate your reclaim system more so than just make it reclaim compatible.
From the Aishin Broadcast Studio, it's Wash Talk.
Welcome to Wash Talk, the Carwash Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Alexander, and joining me today is Ryan Molinelli and Joseph Moldovan from Qual Chem. Hey, Ryan and Joseph, thanks for joining me on Wash Talk today.
Good to be here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
No problem. So we're talking about some of the new things on the way from Qual Chem today, including a brand new line of 10 products that'll be a key piece of your guys' presence at the Car Wash Show coming up here in a couple of weeks for 2026. First question I have for you guys, what did you hear from car wash operators around the industry that pushed you to build this whole new line of 10 products?
Over the last couple of years, we've been kind of surveying our distributors and also, feeling the direct customers out as well. And we offer a complete other line of products and have since the company was incepted over 20 years ago. And the industry's changing rapidly fast, and we felt like bringing something new out would help us fit with some of the new needs that the industry is having. And then on top of that, though, in Qual Chem fashion, we always want to do something completely different and drive the industry forward, and then there's some key attributes to this new product line that we feel like is going to do so. Come Nashville here in a couple of weeks, we're really excited to start telling people more and more about what these products are going to bring to the table and who they fit and who they align with, and all the testing and research and everything. It's been a long journey. But at the end of the day, we got great products coming out as we always do. This is a little bit of a change for us. Like I said, we're usually not in the business of making something new every single year, especially at this scale, 10 new products plus an additional product outside of the line. This is fairly new for us. So there's been a lot of new processes built, a lot of new things that have been built within this process. And, I think it's just going to make our offering more well-rounded for all owner operators across the country.
So I would add to what Ryan said. Why do we feel that it's a need for a new line of product?
Sure.
If you look at our history, I created Qual Chem because of a need for flexibility, and that's the premium line which are selling for 20 years pretty successfully. But this change which we kind of made in a strategy came from the fact that nobody has a product which is non-corrosive in a small pack. So that's the main idea, of coming up with a product which is non-corrosive. So what that means that it's very easy to handle. Now we are not telling people you can wash your hands with it or anything like that, but in case of a spill, in case of a contact with the body, the skin, this product is very, very mild and will not create issues. So that's one of the main things which we felt that it's room for a product line like that. Now, obviously, the question is going to be, how is it cleaning? Well, we developed a system with surfactant and solvents, which takes over the need of injecting high pH or low pH into this product. So these are mild product with a surfactant solvent system which cleans as well, and cleans very, very safely. And then the other thing is, all these products which we develop are 100% biodegradable. So from an environmental standpoint, you are really getting close to a green product, or a green line of product, which I think even if today is not fully appreciated, I think in the next few years, we're gonna see more and more need for products like that. So that would be the from the chemical standpoint, what we try to do.
That's awesome. And I think you're kind of starting to touch on what I want to ask about next here. What does the modern day car washer need every day from the day to day that this new line of products is built around?
If you look at the need of the consumer, which is our client, the people which are coming to wash their cars, two things are very important for them. They don't know pH, they don't know concentration, they have other things to worry about, the phone, the kids, the so many other things. So we focused on a few things. Number one, which every single customer kind of demands or would like to see, is foam. Foam, really goes into the next step, where if you don't show me foam, you're not cleaning my car. And I say that from experience. I had a chain of car washes which I service. I own. And I remember, obviously, I've been in this business for 42 years. I remember the time when we were not foaming anything. We were just putting, like, a pre-soak was just water as far as the consumer is concerned, And then after then, I remember one of my good friends said, "You know what, Joseph, your car wash is doing a great job, but you guys don't have foam. How are you cleaning?"
Right.
And that was one of the motivators to start thinking, well, wait a minute. The only thing which we need to do is put a little bit of air in that solution and have the unit to create the air and all that, which are the modern foamers and what we use today.
Right.
So that's one of the things which we try to do with this product. Every single product which is in this 10 Evergreen line, they foam very well, and they do the cleaning through the surfactants, which are the foamers. Okay. And then the next question is, okay, we can foam it. We can put shaving cream on it. Now the next question is, how are you going to take it off? So this line was formulated in such a way that needs a very small amount of water, to rinse the product off and give you a good car which doesn't have soap coming out of the cracks and crevices and all that.
The new line of products, which I don't think we've touched on the name, the brand name of the new products is called Evergreen. And our tagline is where clean meets green. Look, it's a very environmentally responsible and easily biodegradable product line. We're hoping every reclaim system, it's going to be able to accelerate your reclaim system more so than just make it reclaim compatible. And a few other bullet points on this new system that we've been working on. Number one, super concentrated. We recognize the need for, shipping less water, more dense. You want to wash more cars per pallet. These are going to be shipping in 2.5 gallon compact containers, so ease of handling, safer for employees, safer for just product handling in general. And then with that comes with reduced plastic waste. So the containers are recyclable. They are going to be, you're going to have less plastic per gallon in your back room, which, in the grand scheme of things, your green footprint is going to shrink if you use the Evergreen line. Safe for people, safe for equipment, and safe for the environment. That's kind of a three-pronged approach if you really want to learn about this line and why the modern car washer is going to be so excited to maybe get a chance to try this. And then, look, we've also looked at one thing that is a constant in our world is it seems like freight costs keep going up. And not only is the non-corrosive based around keeping your investment in your car wash, lasting good longer, but with not shipping corrosive products is a savings on freight that can be up to 20% per pallet. So we're looking at it for the long run. It's a very strategic move for us, and we can't wait to show it to folks, all across the country.
Want to switch gears here just a little bit, talk about another new technology product Qual Chem is adding to the Luminaura line. Tell me a little bit about it and what makes it a step forward from anything else you've put out thus far.
Well, I'm going to tell you some things about it, but if I go any more into details, then you have to sign an NDA.
Becomes proprietary information at that point. Yeah, we'll keep it high level.
During the years, we went, and developed all kinds of products to make the surface of the car better. Better from a shine standpoint, better from a feel standpoint, and better from releasing as much water as possible off the surface. Because again, we're going to the customer which is washing his car. What is he gonna do? He's gonna go through. If you leave bubbles on his windshield, he's gonna say the car is not dry. Though the car could be fairly dry. Now, what we're dealing with this, we call a micro, beads. So those are the very, very small little things, which I would say 80% of the competitors in this business cannot remove. Okay? So that was our focus. What can we do, to make these micro beads to move off the car? And what's interesting with Qual Chem, if we set up a car wash, we don't go anymore in a car wash to beat the water, like everybody looks at the beading. We don't look at the beading. We look at the speed of the bubbles moving on a surface underneath the blower. So that gives us a different parameter which we're judging, how dry the car is going to be. So we were able to develop, some, systems, let's call them that way. Polymeric systems, which are creating surfaces which are so hydrophobic that the water falls out by itself. So now we're judging not the bead on a surface, we're judging the removal of the beads off the surface. And, that is our repellency. So now the line of the Evergreen and the Luminaura line has, all of them basically use a repellency system to improve the release of the water. So that's the new product in the premium line. We have a water repellent instead of the old drying agent, we have a repellent. And then also we have the Luminaura, 2 and, the nanohex and all that, which Ryan can talk about those. But from a chemistry standpoint, the big improvement, the big development is that today we can announce that we repel water to the maximum, possible. So obviously it's going to be a little bit different, depends on the blowers, but I tried it, I worked with it. If I have these beads on the surface of the car, I can blow with my mouth, blow off those beads, they start moving. So there is where we want to be.
The new product is called Luminaura Repel. And like Joseph said, like it's going to fit into a couple different holes that you might have open in your car wash tunnel for products. Can be used in a drying agent spot. It can be used prior to that in front of that in the tunnel. And the whole goal in Kyle, back to your other question where you're saying, well, what pushed you to build this product? We worked with some of the best operators in the world. And that's not me bragging. We just have great partners that do things really, really good, and we learn a lot from them. And a couple of the challenges that we've heard is, look, I want to take my car to the next level. I'm struggling getting, this or that off of the backs of SUVs, and then these micro beads at certain speeds of the track. can become an issue. And really, that was our focus. What more can we bring to the table to up the quality of some of the greatest operators in the world's cars that they're putting out? And we worked with them on testing and trialing the product. We got great results, and that flips the switch. New product is produced, and Nashville. This is another exciting thing for us.
So let me give you a little bit of history of Qual Chem and the shows. When I started 20 some years ago, I used to go by myself with a 10 by 10 boot, which I was dragging in and popped it up, and that was Qual Chem. Today, you will see at the show in Nashville, I think we have one of the most professional, booth to really promote our product. They did. I mean, the company, the people in the company, they did a fantastic job, kind of bringing in absolutely the best technology, the new technology, and the signage. If you come in a booth and you want to know something, I can take you to show you through signs what we're doing, or I can take you to the latest, which is it's called video table, where I can go in and you want to know something about my repellent. I can go and show you exactly on this table electronically how it looks, how it's mixed, and then after that I can show you a video of this product. So I think that today, I've been in it, like I said, for 42 years. I'm getting excited. After 40 years, you get a little tired of things. But this particular time, with the things we're bringing in as new, with the technology which we put in this booth, it's very difficult not to get excited.
Our marketing team did a good job, really knocked it out of the park this year. We've seen some excerpts of what the booth's going to look like. And I think what makes our booth different, and I'll answer your full question, Kyle, here in a second, but I think what makes our booth different is our whole entire booth. If you're yearning for some chemistry education and learning like what's going on under the microscope and how chemistry works, I don't think there's another booth out there that does as good a job teaching people the ins and outs of car wash chemistry and what you should be looking for at your car wash from an education standpoint. We do a really good job of making sure people understand, hey, what this product is, how much you use of it, what's it look like on the car, and we got all the technology that you could ever dream of in our booth to fully educate people on what Qual Chem's all about. And especially with these new products too, 10 new products, big change for us, and that all that education doesn't go away. It just starts from scratch, and we're adding a new chapter to our book, and strategically it's going to be great. And I think people are going to be really excited to at least get their hands on some of the Evergreen. But you said, what do I most look forward to when people, or from people, that you get to see new products at the show? I think one of the best parts about the show is you get all your partners and you get all your distributors, everybody that works with Qual Chem across the country, all in one place. And you're meeting a lot of new potential clients out on the show floor, and you're learning about them, and they're learning about you, and you're talking about your products. And if you really watch closely, there's always a moment in that conversation where the light bulb pops on in who you're talking to's head, and whether that's we have a solution for their problem, or maybe that's something they've been struggling with, you just solved. You can always find a lot of those moments to pick up on, and that's really what gets me excited, is when you're able to find someone with a need that we're able to fill and help.
Another thing I wanted to touch on with the product launches you guys are having, how does this launch fit the way Qual Chem likes to custom fit chemistry to each wash's equipment and water?
This product, as we said, it's a non-hazardous line of product, which is unique for the industry in the small container size. Okay, so we are going to use this product. It's very versatile. Okay, so you can use it in a tunnel. Absolutely does a great job. We tried it in a tunnel. We send it to a few tunnels, and we had some of our customers using the premium line, comparing this line to the premium line. And, we are very happy to hear that it's doing a good job. You don't have the flexibility which we have with the premium product. Okay. So with the premium product, I can adjust certain things, pH and foam, in a different way. This one being a one drum product, we call it, like everybody else in the industry. Let's see, if you're going to try to increase the foam, you're going to increase the pH with it too.
Sure.
Okay. Now, what we did with this product, you can increase the foam, not necessarily increasing the pH, because it's a non-corrosive. It's a very mild, low pH and high pH. Okay. Everything is fine. So we're cleaning with surfactant and solvents in this Evergreen line. Now, what we said just a little bit before, we said that this Evergreen line can be used in all type of car washes, including self-serve and in aromatics. So when you look at that thing, you can use this line. Now, the only question is going to be in the HPA, the high pressure systems, where in certain areas where it's a certain type of dirt on these cars, you're going to need a little bit more aggressive product. So the way the Evergreen product is made, I can bring from the premium line, boosters, low pH or high pH, add it to the Evergreen line and make it clean. Okay, so it's we're still following the line, the thinking, which we had in a premium line, at the end of the story. So the line is very versatile itself if it's combined with our premium line.
Awesome.
Okay, now it's something which never been done. Nobody has anything like this, but between the two lines, we can combine them and make any type of cleaning successful.
We do lose some flexibility, but I also look at it, you also gain some fit to the modern day car washer, as we talked about in the previous question, right? We're listening
Correct.
to what the needs of the industry are, and we're making reactions. And I think a value driven line, an environmentally driven line, a safe chemical to work with for more storage in the back room. Back rooms, they are getting bigger, but there's a lot more things trying to be packed into these back rooms than what there used to be 10, 15 years ago. So storage space is limited. Like I already talked about, freight costs rising, we're looking to reduce those freight costs as well. So even though we might be losing the flexibility of our premium line to go to Evergreen, we're still custom fitting the needs of the industry in one shape or form or fashion. Though you can cut at a different angle and look at it the same way. We're still custom fitting our chemistry to the needs of the industry. Just with a different line of product. Some car washers have certain needs, and others look at things a little bit differently and have completely different needs. This fills a little gap for us, and we're super excited for people to get their hands on it here in the next month.
Ryan, Joseph, such great insight on this new line and new technology you guys are bringing to the table. I appreciate you guys joining me. One last question I like to ask all of our guests on Wash Talk. Anything else that either of you want to add about the new Evergreen line or the Repel product in the Luminaura line?
Well, one thing which I'm going to add, it's I would call it not fair not to talk about one of the best development in the car wash industry ever. And ever, it's a big word. To fill the shoes of ever, it's a big thing. And this is Luminaura. Luminaura, I think Luminaura had been for us, 5 years, 6 years, Ryan? Something like that. We have this product.
7, yeah.
Yeah, 7 years. And this product is so unique that still people have not been able to, to copy it. Let's call it that way. The great thing about it is, and started with a customer which wanted to have something different, in their offerings when they offered the top of the line, package. So working with them, we developed a product. When you put it on a car, you sell it on goes on a car. After the car is washed, you can feel the surface like being almost a hand wax. So, obviously we try to make it, easy for people to remember. A shine you can feel. That's what Luminaura is. A shine you can feel. Now, obviously, when we saw that, we start looking into some other opportunities with other different polymers and all that. So we developed, another product which is applied on the top of Luminaura 2, which releases the water. And that was the product which kind of pushed us into the release, So now we have a closing product which releases the water even better. So then we said, we need a complete cycle. So that's the reason why we have the repellent. Before then, we have a product which creates the surface. It's Ryan came up with it's a clay bar. So it's a soap which cleans the product. Then we come with the repellent to start breaking the surface. Then we come with the Luminaura 2, which is sealing the surface and gives you the feel. And then we completed with a super releaser, which is NanoHex. So that's the line of finishing products, if you want to call them that way, which brought this thing at a different level.
Very cool. Ryan, anything else to add before we go?
I just want to invite everybody to our booth, number 1413. We'll be right in the center of the show floor, maybe just one row back from the front. And come talk to us, and let's talk about trying out this new Evergreen line or trying out Luminaura, and we'll set up a visit for our team members to come out to you and show you the product free of charge, and let you make your decision from yourself. I think it's going to be a big impact on the industry, and we're just really excited. We can't wait to get to Nashville, to be honest with you. But yeah, come find me, and then I'll also be doing an education session and just kind of inviting the public to come watch me have a little education session Tuesday morning at down in the classrooms there. So, but thanks, Kyle. We appreciate the conversation and the opportunity for this. It's been great.
Yeah, thanks again to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Joseph and Ryan, for joining me on Wash Talk today, and thanks for all the great insight. Hope to see you guys in a couple weeks here in Nashville. Excited to go to the Car Wash show. Thanks again, guys.